Donna Bush with your CIGTV News Update. The 6 young women competing for the Miss Cayman Islands Universe title took part in the annual etiquette dinner on Saturday evening, organized by the committee and sponsored by the Lobster Pot restaurant and etiquette consultant Cheryl Miller. The goal of the event is to help the young women with proper dining etiquette. Now, the Miss Cayman Islands Universe pageant takes place on Saturday, August 17th at the Ritz-Carlton Resort. Tickets are on sale at Sand Angels and Funky Tangs. Meantime, Caymanian sailor Jesse Jackson was scheduled to begin his day sailing competition on Saturday at the Pan American Games in Peru. However, less than ideal weather conditions over 2 days delayed the competition, which is now scheduled to start tomorrow. Jackson is Cayman's only sailor at the Games being held in Peru, as mentioned earlier. He explains how preparations are going.
So overall, it's been pretty good. There's no in the morning, but in the afternoons we got a nice 10 to 12 knots. And I've been going out with some teammates of mine from other countries, and overall the speed looks good, and I'm looking forward to this event.
Jesse also said that being with such a large group of international sailors is always great. He says, I get to compare and see where I am currently at, what I have improved on since the last time, and what I need to work on consistently, so I can eventually get to the top. Now, relatively new to sailing and with only 6 years under his belt, Jackson is getting ready to sail at his first Pan American Games and his largest games to date. He will go up against some 22 athletes from around the world, and particularly the Pan American region, in laser standards. Now, more than 165 athletes from 26 countries will compete in different sailboat classes at Lima this year. Before attending these games, Jackson had been training intensely for 7 weeks at the Viana Sailing Camp in Portugal, alongside Olympians from the Seychelles. After the Pan American Games, Jackson is scheduled to travel to Canada to compete in the World Championships in August. He hopes to qualify for the Olympics if unsuccessful in Peru. Jackson will be Cayman's second athlete to compete at Lima 2019. Swimmers John Bodden, Lauren Hugh, and Brett Fraser will begin their competitions tomorrow, the 6th of August. Sprinter Kamar Hyman will also be competing on the 6th of August in the prelims for the 100-meter races. Well, last week, the Ministry of Tourism and Transport introduced a new national taxi fare schedule. The new schedule went into effect on Friday, the 2nd of August, and fares have increased slightly. However, the new schedule moves the average party size from 3 to 4, providing for families to ride a taxi at the same rate. The first 2 pieces of luggage are now free, and after-hour fares are now scheduled, resulting in the removal of the previous 25% surcharge. Now, the introduction of a national taxi fare schedule is a key outcome of the Public Transport Board's 5-year strategic plan. The plan is based on 7 strategic goals. Another core outcome of the strategic plan is the introduction of the first digital taxi fare calculator, CIGO. Now, this free mobile app is a simple way for residents and visitors to quote their journey in advance. Deputy Premier Minister, the Honorable Moses Colonel, says, I'm confident PTBS strategic plan provides a blueprint for a strengthened public transport system, one that reinforces our commitment to providing safe transportation options that are well regulated and creates additional entrepreneurship within the Caymanian community. It also represents a modern public transport system and provides greater transparency. For more information on the PTBS, it's a 5-year strategic plan. You can go online to mtd.gov.ky. Now, if you'd like to know what's going on the CIG television schedule, you can go online to gis.gov.ky. Be sure to click on the publications icon at the bottom of the screen. If you missed today's news update, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page as well as the CIG Television YouTube channel. I'm Donna Bush. Thanks for joining us. Wishing you a wonderful and safe evening, and see you back here again tomorrow. Did you know that planning permission is required for a shed? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know planning permission is required to clear land by mechanical means? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required.
Boating, fishing, and water sports in the Cayman Islands are great, but keep a cool head. Here are 7 tips for fun and safe sea outings. Number 1. Use a checklist to plan your outing. Check the weather forecast, make a float plan, and share it with someone who is remaining on land, stating where you're going, with whom, and when you're expected to return. Visit your nearest marine supply store to get your safety gear. This includes signaling mirrors, whistles, and a flare kit. It's also very important to have onboard flotation devices and life vests for each person. There are different types of vests. Some are for water sport activities such as snorkeling, and others are for going on offshore boating or on fishing trips. Number 2. These items can be lifesavers in case of an accident or bad weather. Number 3. Use a motor kill switch, especially if you're boating alone. In case of a leak or breakdown, always stay with the boat until help arrives. If you capsize, an emergency beacon or locator device can send a distress signal to inform the authorities of your location. Larger flares will indicate distress to a boat, airplane, or search and rescue officials. Number 4. In addition to sunscreen, food, and beverages, it would be smart to have a cell phone. Make sure your marine radio works. Cayman boaters use channel 16 to communicate. Number 5. Also, don't forget your anchor and sufficient rope. Number 6. Boat operators should be familiar with the local waters and reefs, as well as the capabilities and functions of the vessels they are using. Always obey the rules of the sea and the marine environment, and have courtesy for others. Number 7. Alcohol and salt water do not mix, especially if you're the captain. Some useful contact numbers are 911. The RCIPS Marine Base is 649-7710, and the Port Authority is 949-2055. Smooth sailing, all!
Did you know that planning permission is required for an addition, alteration, or any material change to your house? The 10% rule no longer exists. Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required?
The Esterly-Tibbetts Highway 3-lane roundabout is ready for drivers. It's time to make sure you know how to use it. First, know which exit you need to take. Pay attention to lane arrows and signs. Make sure you use your signal to change lanes or exit the roundabout. To turn left, you always approach in the left-hand lane and indicate left. To drive straight ahead, you need to be looking out for signs and road markings indicating which lane to use. Get in one of the lanes marked with a straight-through arrow. If turning right, you must use the right-hand lane and indicate accordingly. To use the roundabout safely, remember these 3 tips. Know your exit, pick your lane, and signal to make your turn.